Our next guest says he's looking to work with Republicans to come to a resolution. Joining us now, House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries, New York Congressman. Leader Jeffries, it's great to have you on once again.
Good morning. Great to be back.
These are some of the same players from when you got all those votes. If I were you, I'd add up all those to 15 times a majority. You had like thousands of votes when it finally came down.
That would be correct.
Right? Yeah. So we saw
apparently 3,000. Yeah. You want to say apparently 3,179 votes, but who's counting?
Oh my! You had the number ready to go. That's perfect. So we know that Speaker McCarthy and Congressman McHenry hope springs eternal for getting votes, but we can see that there are sometimes votes that you're counting that might not be there when you need them. Do you have confidence in what Congressman McHenry just said? Do you think they can pass something in the next couple of weeks?
Well, that remains to be seen. Right now, all we have is a speech and talking points, but we haven't seen a legislative proposal. The first thing that we need to do is to make sure that we cleanly raise the debt ceiling to avoid a default on our nation's debt for the first time in our history. It would have catastrophic consequences. Even the flirtation with a default is going to hurt everyday Americans. It risks raising car payments. It risks raising home mortgage payments. It risks raising student loan debt payments. It will hurt everyday Americans and crash our economy at a very fragile time, particularly in the immediate aftermath of the regional banking crisis. We will have a conversation about the types of future investments that we should be making in the health, the safety, and the economic well-being of the American people, but it should be done through a budget process and through the appropriations process, not in a hostage-taking situation.
Right, but we know that there are some issues in terms of where the debt is, and you've got one side that is definitely taking this position. You've seen that they are, and you just outlined what your position is with the clean debt rate. So we know that we're here, and you say you do want to negotiate. Here's a quote just out of an op-ed today. The Speaker's requests are hardly radical, just returning to the federal government the spending levels of the bad old days, fiscal 2022. These are reasonable limits, the 1% annually over 10 years, and reasonable limits, and that a reasonable negotiation, which is what Speaker McCarthy is asking for, is not outlandish with President Biden. It wouldn't be crazy just to talk, just to see if there's something we can do for both parties, for the United States, for the American people, to try to talk about how to do this, when one side is definitely wants to do it that way. Leader?
Well, here's what we're dealing with. I think Ronald Reagan, Donald Trump in 2019, Paul Ryan, the former Speaker of the House, have all made clear that when it comes to raising the debt ceiling, we shouldn't have partisanship, we shouldn't have showmanship, we shouldn't have gamesmanship, because the debt ceiling is not a forward-looking vehicle. It has nothing to do with authorizing spending into the future. The debt ceiling relates to paying bills that the Congress has already incurred. That is why the full faith and credit of the United States is at risk because of the threatening of a default. Separate and apart from the debt ceiling, which should be cleanly raised, we did it 3 times without fanfare during the Trump administration, and House Democrats helped to do that each and every time without engaging in a hostage-taking situation, though we may have disagreed with some of President Trump's spending priorities. Certainly we did fiercely disagree with some of his tax policies, which exploded the deficit and didn't benefit everyday Americans. But on the debt ceiling, we recognized that we needed to be responsible. And all we're asking extreme MAGA Republicans in the House right now is not to hold the economy hostage, but to be responsible. We can have a discussion about the budget. There's a process for that. President Biden released his budget. The House Republican budget is still in the witness protection program, Joe. Unfortunately, it's hiding. It's missing in action. No one has seen it. It's not on the House floor. It hasn't even been introduced. But we can have that discussion once the Republicans are willing to show the American people their plan.